गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. So yesterday we discussed about worldly life and spiritual life, and they can't be separate part of it because all of us without exception want to be happy. We may be from any part of the world, any race, nationality, religion, caste, community, whatever it may be, but all of us without exception want to be happy. That is the bottom line. And this happiness is our essential nature. Because of ignorance of our essential nature, we seek happiness in the external world. In the things and beings of this world, 5 types, because of our own ignorance about our real self. And it is not separate or different from our worldly life, sansaric jiva. This we saw in yesterday's session, and also we dealt with this social media, does it cause stress or ease? That also we discussed. Social media doesn't cause anything. We bring it upon ourselves by misusing it. Use and misuse. When you use it, there is no problem. When you misuse it, that is when the problem starts. When you start overdoing things, that is when problem starts. Poison is defined in pharmacy. Poison is defined as anything in excess is poison. Okay, so anything in excess is poison. So now we have to decide: am I scrolling in excess? WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, constantly, late night. Anything in excess is poison. So even they say that Amrit also, if it gets excess, that is also poison, they say. The saying goes like that. So anything in excess is poison. So per se, social media is not a problem. We are the problem. If you overuse it, if you do it in excess, anything, even well-balanced, nutritious food is good for our health. But if you take that also in excess, that will cause problem. Medicine is for curing any health issues, but medicine has to be taken in specific dosage only, not in excess. So whatever dosage has been prescribed, you take in that dose only, not in excess. Nutrients are good for our health, but that also has to be taken in specific dosage. So the social media and all these things, they are all good. They have got both positive and negative side, but how you use it will determine that. So excessive use is no good. Everything has to be in balance. Life has to be in balance only. So this is what we discussed yesterday. And now today's topic. Today we have 2 topics. One is mental health, anxiety and overthinking. And the other topic is purpose, career and what am I doing with my life. These are the 2 topics for today's discussion. So let us see how it goes. First we'll see about this purpose, career and what am I doing with my life. Here different questions are given. Why do so many people feel lost and confused? Lost and confused. Why that happens is when there are too many choices, then we are lost and confused. And then we want to have everything. One simple example is, I am sure all of you must have attended buffet parties, wedding buffet party, wedding buffet lunch or dinner. And there may be 50, 60, 100 different items. And then we want to taste everything. We'll start from one end and start putting on a plate 4, 5 items, already the plate is full. Then the next item on top of that and on top of that, and then a big mountain is there. And then we don't know which item is where. what we are tasting. Take from here, take from there, and we are unable to finish that, throw it in the dustbin. When there are too many choices, too many options are there, then this you get lost and confused. And if there are 50 items in that buffet, 60 items, first what we do is that if we are very little bit smart, we go and observe what things are there in the buffet, and then we choose from that which one we want, and then take a plate, go to that counter and just take that and finish it off, come to our table, have and finish it and go. Not keep on piling things on that. So why do so many people feel lost and confused? Because when there are too many choices, then this is what happens. And should I do this? Should I do that? Should I go here or should I go there? When few choices are there, then we live a choiceless existence. Everything is decided, no problem. So this is what happens. So we have to use our discriminative intellect, not to overdo things and all that. Then, how does one discover their true purpose in life? True purpose in life will come on its own. You don't have to discover it. It will come on its own. The thing is that all of us come with our own destiny, and our destiny will decide how our life will, what path our life will take. Our destiny will decide. That is already decided. So we don't have to bother too much, worry too much what we should do and what we should not do. Our true purpose in life will manifest at the right time, and then it will go like this. So we do not have to too much bother about that. Like, one other question is that, is it okay to not have everything figured out early in life? Well, what to figure out, because everything keeps on changing. Times change, situation changes, circumstances changes, and what we must have decided earlier, now I have to have a change of plan. Now I can't have that career. Now I was planning to go abroad and do that. Now I'll have to stay back here only. So you can't figure out all that thing. Do whatever you are supposed to do in the present moment, and then your future will take care of itself. If your present is perfect, your future will be taken care of. It will become perfect. But while you are in present, you are thinking about the future and thinking about the past and not doing what you are supposed to do in the present. Then it is a problem. So you need not bother about figuring out whatever ideas you may have, what you want to do with your life, that will come. Then, should you follow passion or choice, or choose stability and responsibility? Now this depends upon individual circumstances. Everybody comes from different families, different situations, different circumstances. Some people may have too many responsibilities of their younger siblings. If somebody is elder, younger siblings' responsibility will be there. So they have to have that, fulfill their responsibilities, discharge their duties, and stabilize, secure financially, and then of course they can follow their passion also. Sometimes both can be done together. Sometimes you finish one and then follow the passion. Sometimes it happens like that. So we want to fulfill our responsibilities. Once our responsibilities are all over, then we fulfill our passion. I remember someone, she was working for Ernst and Young, and she is a very good painter, very good artist, and that is her passion. So she worked for nearly 15 or 16 years, 13, 14 years I think she worked. She had a good package, nearly 40 lakhs. And as soon as they had to buy an apartment and things like that and everything over, they have a daughter. As soon as that was over, she immediately resigned. 40 lakh package. She resigned, and now she's pursuing painting. She's very good. And that is also earning her some income. Painting is also earning. So this is what it is, either fulfilling the responsibility, then pursuing the passion, or simultaneously you do it. You keep some time every day or on weekends to pursue your passion or hobby, like that, or you fulfill one and start the other. So it all depends upon individual circumstances. So that is there. And then, how can we define successful life? Define successful life. Now, everybody's idea of a successful life may be different. Many people will think that earning lots of money is being successful. Okay, he has earned a lot of money. He has become a millionaire, a crorepati. He is a successful person. Some people may have the idea that having a lots of name and fame is a sign of success. For somebody, money is sign of success, building asset is sign of success, or having name and fame is sign of success. Different people will have different things. But ultimately, what is a successful life? The real successful life is when you are happy, content, and at peace. Then you are really successful. At the end, when you are happy, content, and at peace, then you have led a successful life. That is successful life. Because every other thing, for example, somebody has lots of wealth at his disposal, no shortage of money, palatial home, fleet of cars at his disposal, lots of money, but he is suffering from physical ailments, he is suffering from psychological ailments, and then he can't go out anywhere, he can't eat what he likes. I can't eat anything sweet because I am diabetic. I can't eat anything salty because I have got blood pressure. I can't eat anything oily or fried because I have got heart issues. So what do you eat? Some boiled vegetable. So he has money, everything is there, and people will call him a successful person. See, crores of wealth, palatial home, fleet of cars, drivers, servant, this, that. But ask him, are you happy? What happiness? I'm bedridden and I'm ridden with so many illnesses and I can't enjoy what I want to. I can't go out, this, that, and all that. So, ultimately, how do we measure our success, a successful life? At the end of the day, a successful life is when I'm happy, I'm content, I'm at peace. That is the real success. Otherwise, people may have things, people's idea of success is about wealth, about assets, about all that thing. And having all these things, the person will say, I'm miserable, I'm not happy. So many problems may be there. Maybe financially is well off, but health problems, maybe he is having physical health, psychological health, relationship issues. So many other issues may be there. And then he says that I'm not happy. What is the grand idea of having all the assets and not being happy? The important thing is we should have good physical health, good psychological health, and spiritual health. If we have these three health, we are the wealthiest person in the world. And if we have these three health, we are happy, at peace, and content. We may not have too much wealth at our disposal, but whatever little we have, we can enjoy that also. And at the same time, we are having a good physical and psychological health, good spiritual health, and therefore we are happy and content and at peace. Otherwise, we may have all the wealth in the world and yet not happy. What's the grand idea? I have seen too many people, because when they meet a sannyasi, they will open up. From outside, you can see what a palatial bungalow, what a palatial house they are having, and car, this and that. But when they tell me, Swamiji, I want to meet alone, okay, and then the tears will start coming, and then they will start telling their story, and then we start thinking, oh, such a palatial thing and everything is that, but this is the problem he is having. He is not happy. They'll be. I've seen too many of those. Whether they are from the royal family, from politicians and things like that, they'll come and cry on the shoulder. So we know, having all that and still miserable, what's the grand idea? Is it successful? A politician, very successful politician, is one, and one yoga teacher goes to teach yoga to his family members. So one day this yoga teacher was telling me, this politician, he is an MP and all that, and then he is telling that I've got lots of issues, health issues and things like that, and then I can't sleep. So this yoga teacher asked him, why can't you sleep? No, anytime phone call comes. At 2 o'clock in the morning also phone call comes and I can't switch off the phone and I have to keep my phone on. I have to answer the phone also because they are all their vote bank. So he can't displease them. So from some area, some internal area, somebody will be sitting in the bar in some dhaba. At 2 o'clock, he must be enjoying with his friend. Oh, I can call this fellow and he'll pick up the phone. He may be having 4,000-5,000 votes at his disposal, so he'll call him up, and that fellow has to pick up. You see, picked up. This is the problem. But he has brought it on himself. So but politics, he has achieved something. He's become member of parliament and this and that and all that thing, and became a minister also. What's the grand idea? Is he happy with all that thing? At the end of the day, he is miserable. What's the grand idea? So, successful life, you should know what is real successful life. When you are happy, at peace and content, that is the real success. Otherwise, having everything and then still unhappy, miserable, not at peace, no contentment, no trupti, nothing. What's the grand idea of all that? So, this is clear. And then now we'll take up this mental health, anxiety, and overthinking. This is a very important subject because mind itself causes us all the problem. Everything is because of our mind only. The quality of our daily life depends upon the quality and texture of our mind. So, if we can maintain our mind, the quality and texture of our mind, then we'll be happy. So, mind alone causes all the problem. The thing is that in our scriptures they say, Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Mind alone is the cause of our bondage and liberation. So, our mind, we collect a lot of things. From our birth itself, lot of data has been fed to us. And then, because of that, our mind is thoroughly conditioned by those things. And then that causes problem. We have so many fears and phobias, anxieties, confusion, things like that. And these, we are thoroughly conditioned by the data that has been fed to us right from birth until now. And then we find very difficult to break out of those conditions. So, this mind itself causes all the problem. We have to get rid of this conditioned mind. This conditioning that we have acquired over the period of time, that we have to get rid of. We have to decondition our mind. See, every moment, millions of thoughts pass through our mind and intellect equipment. As long as we are a witness to that, there is no problem. As soon as we identify with that, that is when our problem starts. So, the thing is that a boat is in the water. As long as the boat is in the water, there is no problem. As soon as the water enters the boat, then it is a catastrophe. So, the mind is like milk and the world is like water. When the milk mind enters the water world, what will happen? It will be overwhelmed by water. But of course, we have to live in the same world. We have to transact with this world. We can't run away from here and live in some forest or somewhere in isolation. We have to live here. We have to transact with the world and yet not allow our mind to be affected by what we see, what we hear around us, in the world around us. So what do we do now? How to decondition the mind and how to keep our mind unaffected by what is happening around. So, if we add a little bit curd to the milk and curdle it, and then we have to churn out the butter from that. When we put the butter in the water, it will float on water without allowing a single drop of water to enter. So, similarly, we have to convert our milk mind into butter mind and then float in this samsara sagar without getting affected by the samsara. It is not an impractical thing. How to convert this milk mind into butter mind? So there are certain codes we have to follow. codes for deconditioning the mind. From a day-to-day life, how to decondition our mind. This is very important so that our mind will be at peace. This is what we want. So we have to start deconditioning the mind. How our mind will be at peace? When the external things do not affect us. When the events and things happening around, what we see, what we hear, do not affect us, then only we can be at peace. If it is affecting us, we will not be at peace. If somebody falls, if we can help, we have to go and help. If somebody is sad and in tears, we should not sit with that person and start crying ourselves. Have a jugalbandi with that person. No. We have to find out what is his problem, and if we can help, we have to help out. And not sit with that person and start crying, oh, he's so sad. I also feel sad. So, not to get affected ourselves, but people are so big fools that they go to a movie, they know it is a make-believe world, and when they see a tragic scene on the screen, they start weeping with the heroine. Heroine got millions of rupees to act like she's crying and like she's in tragedy. Huh? And you people go and pay 300, 400 rupees and start crying with her. So the thing is that we should not allow our mind to be affected. And it is not impractical. We can do that. We have to decondition the mind. So today we'll discuss some of the codes to decondition our mind. The very first code we'll start with is, have the courage to change what you can. Serenity to accept what you cannot change. And wisdom to know the difference between the two. That is very important. Accept. First is courage to change what you can. Accept what you cannot change. Serenity to accept what you cannot change. What we cannot change, we have to endure. What cannot be cured, we have to endure. So we have to have the serenity to accept that. Serenity to accept that. And then we should have wisdom to know the difference between the two. Otherwise, we'll try to change something which cannot be changed. And what we can change, that we never change. Now, for example, if the weather is too hot, can we change the weather? No. We have to put up with that weather. But suppose I say that every day I wake up at 12 noon. So from tomorrow I start waking up at 11:30. Okay, that I can change. Okay. So have the wisdom to know the difference. Actually, if you see, what is wisdom then? Common sense in an uncommon degree is what we call wisdom. Common sense in an uncommon degree is what we call wisdom. If you go to change what we cannot change, and then don't change what we can, then we'll suffer. As a rule, man's a fool. When it's hot, he wants it cool. When it is cool, he wants it hot. Always wanting what is not. So the first code we have to follow, if you want to decondition our mind and live in this world, the first code, change what you can, have the courage to change what you can, have the serenity to accept what you cannot change, and have the wisdom to know the difference between the two. First code. Then what will happen is accept things as it comes. Then we'll have patience, we'll develop patience, we'll develop strength, we'll develop a willpower also. All can be developed. So this is the first code for deconditioning the mind. Now we'll move on to the second code to decondition the mind. What is the second code? Accept others as they are, with their good qualities, bad qualities, strengths and weaknesses, everything as they are. I always talk of this tragedy and comedy. Many people want others to change without themselves changing. Many people want others to change. He should behave like this, he should do like this, she should be like this, she should be like that. But what about you yourself? Accept others as they are. Then I talk about tragedy and comedy. What is the tragedy? The tragedy is that our own mind is not in our control. That is a tragedy, isn't it? Unfortunately, our own mind is not in our control. That is a tragedy. And what is the comedy? Comedy is that with our uncontrolled mind, we want to control other people's mind, which is not in their control. This is the comedy. And this comedy show goes on everywhere at all times, at home, in school, in colleges, in offices, in marketplace, everywhere. So at home, wife, one uncontrolled mind, husband, another uncontrolled mind, both trying to control each other. Parents, one set of uncontrolled mind, children, another set of uncontrolled mind, trying to control each other. In schools and colleges, teacher, professors, one uncontrolled mind, several students uncontrolled mind, and they try to control each other. In the shops, the shopkeeper, one uncontrolled mind, and the customers. So he's trying to control each other. They are trying to control each other. This is what is going on. So accept others as they are. We can only change ourselves. We cannot change others. They have come with their own set of impressions, own set of destinies, prarabdhas, and their life will go according to that. We want this fellow to be like this, that person to be like this. We can only change ourselves. The change should come from within. We don't want to go to change the world. Those who came to save the world got shaved off from the world. Focus on yourself. All the great saints, sages and masters, they focused only on changing, perfecting themselves. They didn't go to perfect the world. They perfected themselves. Then people looked at them. They took them as their ideal, and then slowly the changes started coming in their family, this perfect saints family, in the neighborhood, and so on. So focus should be on changing ourselves, not others. So we have to accept others as they are. You see, don't try to change a bitter gourd into sugar cane. You'll only get frustrated. Bitter gourd is bitter gourd. Karela to karela hi hai. Sugar cane is sugar cane. You cannot change a bitter gourd, karela, into sugar cane. Enjoy each for its own taste. When you try to do that, you will only get frustrated. Oh, I'm always frustrated. Why bother about it? Focus should be on our own self, on our perfecting ourselves. Once there was a boy who was very mischievous. So whenever his father used to come from office home, so his father is tired, he wants to freshen up and relax, watch some TV and things like that. But the boy will be all over him. So one day his father came across a world map. So his father thought of an idea. He thought that I'll cut it into pieces and I'll ask my son to join it. And I'll tell him that all the countries should be where they are. You can't put Australia where there is England, or New Zealand where there is Switzerland and things like that. No, they have to be at the same place. So the boy took the paper in his hand and looked at the map, looked behind and front and everything. Okay, Dad, you can cut it into pieces, I'll join it. So the father cut it into pieces and gave it to him. So he thought that now 2-3 hours I'll be free of this boy. Within 15 minutes the boy came, completed. Hey, you completed in 15 minutes. I would have taken half an hour. And then let me see whether you have committed any mistake or not. All the countries are in the right places. So he asked his son, how did you do that? It was so simple. I looked behind. There was an advertisement of Raymond Suitings, the complete man. I joined the man and the world became one. So focus on yourself. Don't go out to perfect the world. Let them be as it is. So accept others as they are. Second code for deconditioning the mind. Now we go to the third code for deconditioning the mind. As we have to accept others as they are, we should also accept ourselves as we are. Whatever weaknesses maybe we are having, shortcomings are there, whatever we may be having, that we have to accept it. When we accept it, then we can change. And then we have to learn to laugh on our mistakes also, on our antics. So when others laugh, we will not feel bad. When we don't laugh at our own mistakes, when others laugh, oh, as if you don't commit any mistakes. No, we should laugh at our own self. See what foolish thing I did. I can't imagine I could do such a foolish thing. And we laugh at ourselves. When others laugh, we'll not feel bad about it. But when we don't accept that, we don't laugh at ourselves. When others laugh, then we are very angry, as if they don't commit any mistakes. So we have to accept ourselves. That is most important. When we accept ourselves with all the shortcomings, weaknesses, and things like that, then we are able to change. We have to overcome that. So the three codes of deconditioning the mind we have seen. We move on to the fourth one. Fourth one is also an important one. Do not compare yourself with anyone in this world. Absolutely. If you compare yourself with anyone in this world, you are insulting yourself. Because each and every one of us is a unique specimen. No two people are exactly similar. So don't compare yourself with anyone. We look at others and then try to compare. We do not know what their journey has all been about and whether we can go through that kind of journey. So that is not good. And don't try to imitate others. So when you try to imitate others, when you strive to do what others are doing, and that is against our actual real nature, then that is what we call this dual life. In reality, I am something else, and I am trying to pretend and project something else or imitate someone else. Then the turmoil between these two is called as stress or tension. Why unnecessarily get into that? Even if you try to imitate others, you will be a poor imitation. Instead of being a poor imitation, be 100% original. Don't allow others to set your standards. So you should follow your own standard. No need to imitate or copy. Each and every one of us is unique. Excellence is something which comes from within. And to excel in something, it is not for others to appreciate, whether others appreciate or not. It is for our own satisfaction, for our own progress, for our own development, whether others accept or not. It doesn't matter. If people want, others should also see and appreciate and all that. That is not required. Excellence comes from within. There was a sculptor who did a statue, who was working on a statue. And there was exactly a similar statue lying there. So one person came there and he saw this sculptor is working on the statue and there is exact similar statue lying there. So he asked the sculptor, do you need two statues? No, I need only one. So you already have one. Why are you working on this? So the sculptor said that there is a small flaw in this statue. Somewhere around on the face, somewhere there is a small flaw. So then he pointed out, the sculptor pointed out where it is. So then the visitor asked, where are you going to keep this, mount this statue? Oh, it will be at 15 feet or 20 feet above. Well, if it is that, then whoever is observing, seeing that statue from this distance, they will not detect that flaw. So the sculptor said that, but I know it. I will know it. It is for my excellence. I don't want that there. Whether others see or not, whether others appreciate or not, it is not that concern. So, excellence comes from within. We do not have to imitate anyone else. We should not compare ourselves with anyone. If we do so, we are insulting ourselves. Never do that. Each and every one of us come with our unique talent, unique skills. Everybody may not be invested with the same talent and same skills. Everybody is different. In a class of 50 students, somebody will be genius, somebody will be brilliant, somebody above intelligent, average intelligent, below intelligent, and somebody outright duffers. But each will be having some kind of skills or talent. Even the outright duffers also, they may be having some other skills. They will excel in that. Maybe they can become a good painter or an artist or a sculptor or a musician or something they will excel in. So nobody, you can't write off anyone. Everybody has got their own talent. So comparison should not be there. Do not ever compare. Then we move on to the fifth code. Fifth code is also very important. Do not blame others for sorrows, sufferings, and problems in your life. We have this habit of blaming others. When there is some problem, some sorrow or misery in our life, we want to blame it on someone. When we find there is a person behind all that, then we want to express our victimhood. Then the victimization comes. With the victimization, then anguish comes, and with that, then retribution. Then we want to take some revenge also. Oh, that person is the cause of all my misery and problem and all that thing. That is not a good thing. Blaming others for our problems or sorrows or miseries or pain, and we don't give due credit. If you are successful, we don't give due credit to others if they had a role to play. Well, it is my hard work, my talent, my skill. That is how I have become successful. That is how I have achieved this. And if there is some flaw in that, some failure, it is because of him, because of her, because of politics, because of weather, because of this, that. So, in our life, whatever problems come, whatever sufferings come, it is because of our own doing. Whatever karmas we have done, whatever actions we have done, action gives results. Positive action gives positive result, negative actions give negative result. This we have brought from our past, and we have to enjoy or suffer as it comes. So, this blaming others is not a good thing. We should stay away from that. Because unnecessarily we will occupy our mind because of him, because of that. What is the need? There is no need. I want to take revenge. Because of him, this is what has happened and all that. Keep it away. We suffer or enjoy life as per our own destiny. Whatever karma phala has fructified as prarabdha, that is what we experience in this life. Next is, we should also think from other standpoint. In any dealing, two parties are there, and two parties are there in that deal for some benefit. Both want to benefit. So that means we have to be less selfish. Others should also benefit in that. So always don't look at selfishness. We have to think from other standpoint also. I am into this because of this. Others are also there. And for everybody's benefit, we have to think, not be selfish. So we have to be less selfish. Be more selfless. Selfishness is there. Everybody is selfish to a certain extent. Some little bit less selfish, some more selfish, some extremely selfish. So we have to reduce our selfishness. That is important. Now, the seventh code for deconditioning the mind. That is very important. What is that? We have to be more open with people. What does it mean? Whatever is inside, that only we have to say. Otherwise, inside there is something else and we are saying something else. Say, for example, somebody tells us to do some work. And with a smile, we accept it. Okay, I will do it. And inside we are cursing. This person always gives me this work which I don't like to do. I hate doing it, but always this person gives me this work. So now, everybody has heard about a physical health issue called as acidity. Acidity is that some burning sensation in the stomach. But when you have this, smilingly we accepted the work and inside we are cursing. This person always gives me, I don't like. Then we suffer from a condition called as mental acidity. How many of you have ever suffered from mental acidity? When somebody gives us this work and we don't like to do it and we smilingly accept it, and then why did I accept it? No, I don't like it. So be upfront, be open. Look here, in the past also you gave me this work and I don't like doing it and I'm not good at it also. And therefore my mind is not in it. So it will not turn up good. I will not be satisfied. You will not be happy. Instead you give this work to someone who can do it better. Instead of giving. So open it should be. Then we will not suffer from mental acidity. Sometimes it is other way around also. Sometimes we outright refuse and then later on think that, oh, I should not have refused. I should have accepted the work. Then too we will suffer from mental acidity. See? So communication should be very clear. Communication is the biggest problem. Most of the conflicts and things and fights and quarrels and misunderstanding that happen because of improper communication. In communication also there are gaps. What is said and what is heard. First gap comes. Did we hear exactly what was said? So what is said and what is heard, first gap. What is heard and what is understood, second gap. What is understood and what is interpreted, third gap. What is interpreted and what is actually done, fourth gap. It becomes all Chinese whisper. So we should be very clear in our communication. When we are not clear in our communication, then a lot of mess will happen. 50, 60 years ago, this telegram was very common. Telegraph office was in the post office. If you want to send telegram, nowadays of course WhatsApp, phone and this and that, immediate instant communication. Those days we have to go, very few people had phones also at home. We have to go to the post office where there is a telegraph section is there. Then we want to send a telegram. And then most of the time this telegraphic unit doesn't work. That machine doesn't work. So they'll call from this post office to the other post office, destination post office, and send the message. And then that will deliver to the house. Once a person went to the post office to deliver a message, to send a message to telegram. The message was very clear. Babu's marriage fixed with Limay's daughter. Limay is a surname in Maharashtra. Babu's marriage fixed with Limay's daughter. Simple. So he went to the post office. As usual, that telegraph machine was not working. So the post office fellow called the other post office that this message has to be delivered on this particular address. So what was said? Babu's marriage fixed with Limay's daughter. This was the original message. What was heard, what was written, what was transmitted. When it reached the destination, it read Babu's garage mixed with lemon water. So communication should be very clear. One devotee asked the Lord, Lord, you are not granting me any wish. So one day the Lord said, okay, what do you want? So this person said, I want a bus full of ladies and a bag full of money. So the Lord said, Tathastu. The Bangalore Municipal Transport ladies specially became the conductor. So bus full of ladies and bag full of money. Communication has to be very clear. This is the problem that comes. And of course, in communication also, sometimes some things are interpreted according to our mental conditioning also. How we think. So according to that, the communication is affected. For example, in an English class, the professor told the student to punctuate an English sentence. Okay? The sentence was very simple. Woman without her man is nothing. So the boys punctuated, woman without her man, comma, is nothing. The girls also punctuated, woman, exclamation mark, without her, comma, man is nothing. So, sentence is the same, only punctuations are different, but there is diametrically opposite meaning. Communicate properly. Because of lack of communication, then we suffer from mental acidity. So communication has to be there. We listen 50% and then understand quarter, think zero, and our reaction is double. So, to keep our mind calm and peaceful, so we have to be very good at communication. Communication skills are very important. How we communicate, that is very important. Say, for example, there was a king and he had a dream. He dreamt that all his teeth has fallen, only one tooth was left. So when he woke up in the morning, he called all the astrologers and the interpreters of dream and all, and he asked each one of them. So they said that, O king, all your relatives will die before you. So the king was not happy to hear that. He was annoyed also. And then he jailed those people who said that. Several people said the same thing. Then one person came. What was the dream, O king? I'll interpret it in the right way. properly. I know how to interpret the dream. Okay. So the king said that, well, I dreamt that all my teeth has fallen, only one tooth left. Congratulations! This man is telling the king, congratulations! It is time for celebration. There should be big utsav in the entire kingdom because you are having the best health, you are having the longest lifespan. This is a cause for celebration. So the king was very happy. Huh? What different did he say? He said the same thing, but the language were different, words were different. He said the same thing. But then, this is what it is. You can tell something which is not good, but in a way that person will not take offense. Isn't it? So the communication skills should be there. Then we will not suffer from mental acidity. We have to keep our mind peaceful, calm. Then, do not worry. Do not worry about anything. Because we have got habit of worrying. And nowadays, they use a milder term for worrying. They call it overthinking. And basically, it is worrying only. Either think or worry. And in between think and worry, they have come up with a word called overthinking, which never was used 50 years ago. Overthinking. This is the modern side. I don't want to sound myself to be an eternal worrier. So I'm just overthinking. So worrying doesn't solve problem. Thinking will solve problem. Worrying, you can go ahead and worry. If your worry gives you good health, go ahead and worry. If your worry can extend your life, go ahead and worry. If your worry can exchange for happiness, go ahead and worry. Worry gives a big shadow for a small thing. So this worry should not be there unnecessarily. See, we have given the faculty of imagination. Faculty of imagination is for creativity. It should not be misused for worrying. And most of us misuse it for worrying. Imagination only. Say for example, say I have to travel tomorrow, I have to go abroad. So what am I supposed to do today? I have to ensure that I have a valid passport, valid visa, I have done my shopping, I have done my packing, I have arranged for my transport to take me to the airport, finish. Once I have done all that, then I have to continue with what I am supposed to do today. But then I'll sit and think, what if the driver doesn't turn up? What if on the way the car breaks down? What if there is heavy rains and the roads are flooded? What if I'm caught in traffic jam? What if I reach the airport and the flight takes off? Of course, you'll remain here only. What if the flight takes off and crashes? Then, of course, you'll not be there to ask this question. Now, what is this? This is overthinking or worrying unnecessarily. Be in the present. Whatever has to be done, we have to do, and then we have to rest. We have to continue with our present duties. So, this worrying is not good. And what are we worried about? Do not worry about what others will think. Anyway, they do it rarely. What think? And so far, so-called others are also equally worried about what others will think. If you think what you are, if you think what your friends and enemies tell you what you are, then you do not know who you are, what you are. You do not know yourself. Okay? Don't go by others' opinions what you are. Okay, he said like that about me, she said like that. Friend said, enemy said, and all that thing. No. Then that means you do not know what you are. Don't worry about that. Whoever says whatever, it is none of our business what others tell about ourselves. They may criticize, they may praise, whatever it is, it doesn't matter to us. Great saints and sages and masters all were criticized in their lifetime. Great, even Avatar Purushas were criticized. Krishna had many critics, but what about Lord Rama? He is called as Maryada Purusha. Even he was criticized by that Dhobi. So, there were critics to anyone, everyone. It was a big deal. So, who says what? Do not worry about what others tell about you. And as it is, people don't throw stones at a barren tree. They throw stones at a tree which is full of fruits so that they'll get something. So critics are also like that only. So this is an important thing. Do not worry about what others tell about you. This is an important thing. So we have to be careful about it, because great revolutionaries, they charted their own path. They may have also been criticized, but they stuck to their path, and that is how they became revolutionaries. Had they not stuck to their path, they wouldn't have called as revolutionaries. Even saints, sages, and masters, they take their own path and they don't bother what others say. There was once a race among the frogs to climb a tree to the top. So many gathered around that and to see the race among the frogs. So frog was climbing, and those who had gathered, they were saying that they can't make it. They can't make it to the top. It is very difficult to climb all that. The top of that tree, it is so tall, very difficult. So one by one were falling off, were giving up, falling off and all that thing. And the critics were going on and on. Oh, they can't make it. Discouraging. But one frog among them was continuously climbing. Despite people, the others around them, they're discouraging. And he reached the top. And then he slowly came down. How did you reach the top? When somebody asked, that frog said, I can't hear anything. Critics will be there. Elephant walks and the dogs bark. As far as elephant is concerned, on both sides of the road, in line the dogs are standing and barking. As far as elephant is concerned, this is my welcome ceremony from both the sides. The dogs are welcoming me, whether they are barked. Careless. So forget about these critics. There are constructive criticism, is there something, but otherwise some people criticize for the criticism's sake. You should not bother about that. Then we have to also observe, watch our habitual actions in the world around us, with the people, with the things around us. We should observe that. Are we dependent too much on the external place, time, object, people, relationships, situations, circumstances, and so on for our happiness? Because any kind of dependency is a cause of bondage, and any kind of bondage is a cause of misery. So as much as possible, we have to reduce our dependency on the external factors. If we need all these things to be happy, how come we are happy in the deep sleep state without any of these things? When we wake up from the deep sleep state, we say, oh, I didn't know anything, but I enjoyed it, without having all these things. So we have to reduce this dependence in the external world. Another thing is that, what is mental perfection? Mental perfection is, the three questions have to be answered. Am I happy or miserable? If I am miserable, I am not mentally perfect. If I say I am happy, then the next question. Are you happy sometimes and bored sometimes, if not miserable? Or you are happy 24/7, every moment, 24 hours. So if I am happy sometimes and bored sometimes, then I am not achieved that mental perfection. But if I say I am happy 24 hours, then the third question, is your 24-hour happiness dependent on external factors, place, time, object, people, relationships, situations, circumstances, environment, or independent of these factors? If my 24 hours happiness is dependent on these external factors, then of course these factors are not permanent. They are all impermanent. Everything is impermanent in this world. From impermanent factors, you cannot get a permanent happiness. Things and beings are impermanent. Situations and circumstances are impermanent. Everything is impermanent. So when the situation changes, your so-called 24 hours happiness will disappear. So if somebody answers that I am happy 24 hours and my happiness is independent of all these external factors, whether they are favorable or unfavorable, it doesn't affect my happiness, he has attained the perfection what is required. So reduce the dependency on external factors as much as possible. Dependency is a cause of bondage. Any kind of bondage is a cause of misery. Then, 10th code is also very important. What is the 10th code? Do not interfere in anybody's affairs unless they specifically come to tell you, please sort out our affair. Never ever interfere in anybody's affairs. When somebody has got some dispute, some quarrel, or some misunderstanding, something, and then we think that we know better, and then we try to interfere, and those two together who are quarreling, they will together tell us, who told you to come and interfere in our affairs? We'll sort it out ourselves. And then we say, oh, we just went for their own good, and they said like this. Who told you to go? Did they invite you? If they want, they specifically invite, please come and please do this mediation for us. We have got this problem. But if they have not asked you, keep quiet. And especially never get involved in husband and wife issues. Husband and wife are like scissors. They are joined at one end and constantly go against each other. And if anybody comes in between, they'll cut them off. So better stay away from that. So keep your peace of mind. Don't disturb it. Then the 11th code for deconditioning the mind. Do not hold on to something that do not belong to you. Do not hold on to something that do not belong to you. And that includes not the external things and beings, but our own body, sense organs, mind, intellect. These also do not belong to us. After some years, that will drop off. That also do not belong to us. Nothing is permanent. So do not hold on to things. Do not possess nor be possessed by anything. You may have everything, but don't possess. If it is there, you use it. If it is lost, fine. No problem. It came because we don't possess anything. It belonged to someone else some time ago. Now it has come to me, and after some time it will go to someone else. We just keep it for some time. That's all. One Sufi saint entered the palace of a king, and he asked the king that, I want a room to spend overnight. So the king said, this is not a lodge or an inn or a caravanserai to have a room to sleep overnight. Then the saint asked him, before you, who was staying in this palace? My father was staying. And where is he now? He passed away. And before that, my grandfather was staying. And where is he now? He passed away. And so on. So anybody comes to a place, stays for some time and goes away, what is that called as? That is only an inn, a lodge. So you will also stay here for some time and you will also go away. So what's the big deal if I ask a room in this palace? Everything is temporary. It goes like this. So we should not possess nor be possessed by anything. Once one person was sitting on the bank of a river, and then he saw a nice shawl floating on the surface of the water at a distance. So he thought that I should possess that. So he dived in the river and went towards that. And he caught hold of the shawl. To his surprise, the shawl caught hold of him. Because when the snow starts melting from the mountains and the river starts flowing, the bears also come floating on that. So a bear was floating, this fellow thought that it is a shawl. He went to hold that and the bear held him. So, do not possess nor be possessed. You see? When we try to hold on to something, we are bound by that. And that will be a cause of our misery and sorrow. The hunters, when they want to hunt monkeys, catch monkeys, what they do is that they make a hole on one of the branches or trunk of the tree and put the grains in that. And they sit under the tree eating that grain. The monkey is watching. He saw that hole was made and he put the grain there. He himself is eating that. So the monkey will slowly come on that and then he'll put hand to grab the grains from that hole. So hand went like that. Once he grabs the grain, it will not come out. That is when the hunter catches him. If he leaves the hold, he can run away. But no, he wants to hold. So then you get caught, you get bound. Once one American tourist went to Poland and he had heard about a, a saint there, a Jewish saint was there. So he thought that he should go and meet him. So he went to meet him, found the address, and when he went and he rang the bell, this saint opened the door and welcomed the American tourist inside. So when the American tourist entered the room of that saint, he was surprised to see that there was absolutely no furniture in the room. Not even a chair or a table or a bed or carpet or nothing was there. So the tourist was surprised and he asked this saint, "Where is your furniture?" Saint didn't give him a direct answer. The saint asked him, "Where is your furniture?" So the tourist said that I am just a tourist. So this saint said, "I am also a tourist on this earth. So I don't move around with your furniture." So everything is temporary. So don't hold on to things. There was one miser. What he did was that he converted all his wealth into gold. And then he buried it in the backyard of his house. He buried there. Once a week he used to come and dig the hole and look at the gold and close it. Like these days people put the funds in their Swiss account and in their saved, they have that small letter that I have got so many $1,000,000 there. So once in a while he remove that and so he used to go and look at that gold. So as usual he went and he saw that the hole was already dug up and there was no gold in that. So he started shouting and screaming and theft has happened and all that thing. So people gathered, neighbors gathered and all that thing. What happened? What happened? I had buried gold here and somebody has stolen it. So then one person asked, "Were you using that gold for any purpose?" "No, once a week I used to come, dig it up and look at the gold and then close and go." So then that person said that whoever needed that gold, he took it away. Anyway, you didn't want it because you only came and looked at it. So just imagine that there is still the gold in that. You come, dig it, look at it and go. So don't get possessed by things. And we may have so many things. It will come from somewhere, it will go to somewhere. Sometimes only for temporary purpose we keep it with ourselves. That is, so when the time comes, sometimes we may lose it, sometimes it may be destroyed and so many things like that, but it should not affect our mind. "Oh, I lost it, it got destroyed." It has to go in its own time. Our body will also drop one day. That is also temporary. Then the 12th code of deconditioning the mind. Introspect regularly. Introspect about attachment, about desires, about weaknesses, and so on. When we introspect regularly, we can overcome all these things one by one. Introspection is very much important. And this attachment to anything is cause of misery, sorrow, and pain. Whatever we are attached to the most, that thing or being will be the cause of the biggest sorrow, misery, or pain in our life. So, attachment is not good when we are attached to something. There is a difference between attachment and love. Love is always pure and unconditional. And love doesn't have a cause. Attachment has got a cause. People mistake attachment for love and then they land in trouble. So if somebody says that I love so and so person, why? Then he gives the cause. Oh, because he or she has got good voice, sings well, he or she is beautiful, he or she is very intelligent, or he or she has got a good painter, a good musician, and things like that. Therefore, I love that person. So there is a cause. And if the cause disappears, so-called love also will disappear. So you know that person because voice is good and sings well. So if he loses the voice, the so-called love will also disappear. There is a difference between attachment and love. And attachment causes the biggest misery, sorrow, or pain. A few examples we'll take. In Mahabharata, Mahabharata war took place only because of one person's attachment. Dhritarashtra's attachment to the throne and his attachment to his eldest son Duryodhana. Because of this attachment, he was unable to give justice to the Pandavas. Because of this attachment. And then what happened? Mahabharata war took place and Dhritarashtra lost all 100 sons, including the son to whom he was most attached. He lost all 100 of them. Attachment, that was one person's attachment was cause of this Mahabharata war. Otherwise, if he didn't have any attachment, he would have given the kingdom to Pandavas whom it belonged to and done justice to them and finished it off. But no, attachment. And he's telling Pandavas, you are intelligent, you are wise people, you understand and this and that. Attachment causes the biggest sorrow, misery or pain in our life. So we have to get rid of attachment. Don't get involved like that. See, and the funny thing is that whatever we are attached to, if we don't get it, of course we are miserable. But if we get it, we become more miserable. How is that? Because when we get it and it doesn't come up to our expectation, then we become more miserable. We didn't get it, we were miserable. But when we get it, we become more miserable if it doesn't come up to our expectation. There is a story I must have said. One person wanted to visit a mental asylum and he wanted to see how the patients are kept there, what types of patients are there, how they are treated and all that thing. So he went and met the director of the mental asylum and said that I want to see this asylum, how patients are treated and all that. So he said, okay, I'll take you around. So the director was taking him around. This is the treatment room, shock treatment room. This side of the asylum, the peaceful psychological patients are kept. That side, violent mental patients are kept that side, and so on. So in one place he saw one patient was sitting in a chair and then chanting Leela, Leela, Leela. So the visitor asked the director, what is this problem? Well, he was in love with a girl called Leela and she ditched him. And it affected him mentally. So, but he is a very peaceful person. His family just brought him and left him here. So his whole day keeps chanting Leela, Leela. Then they were moving further and in one room he saw the entire wall was well padded up. And then the visitor realized why it was padded up. Because the patient in that room was banging his head on the wall. So he should not get hurt. So therefore it was well padded up. And to his surprise, he found that that person was also chanting Leela, Leela, Leela. So he told the director, it seems Leela is his problem also. Yeah, the Leela who ditched the other guy finally married this guy. So this attachment is not good. You have to understand that. Then the 13th code for deconditioning the mind is each and every one of us without exception can attain highest level of spiritual depth. And we should try to see in everyone else. However good or bad they may appear, but everybody has got that potential. They can attain the highest. We should try to see that. Oh, this fellow is a criminal. What he has got, how can he attain that highest and all that? A few examples will clarify that. There was a dacoit Ratnakar. He used to loot people, kill people and loot them, and that is how he used to feed his family. So one day, he came in front of Narad Muni. So Narad Muni asked him, you are doing this thing, you are killing people, you are looting them. Why are you doing all this? No, I have to take care of my family. Okay, go and ask your family members, will they partake in the sins you are committing? In the criminal activity that you are committing, the sins you are committing, will they be the partner also in that? Go and ask them. So when he went home, and he said, Narad Muni said, I will wait here for you. He went and asked, now I am doing this, I am killing people, I am looting people, I am committing this sin. Will you be also partaking in that? No, we have got nothing to do what you are doing. It is your responsibility to feed us. How you do it, it is not our concern. He felt very sad about it, miserable. Then he came back to Narad Muni and he said that this is what they said. Now you tell me what to do. So he gave him the mantra, Mara Mara. And then he sat there itself and started chanting. After 6 months, when Naradmuni was passing by again from that, there was an ant hill. And from inside the sound was coming, Ram, 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 Ram. Then he broke that ant hill, he saw that Dakat Ratnakar was sitting there. So he completely changed and he went on to become Valmiki Rishi, who composed Valmiki Ramayana. So a dacoit Ratnakar can become Valmiki Rishi. Then you must have heard about another one, being the time of Lord Buddha. Angulimal was there. Angulimal, why he was called Angulimal? He had taken a vow of killing 1,000 people and chopping off their small finger and making it a mala and putting around him. So he had already killed 999 people and was waiting for the 1,000th one. At that time, Lord Buddha came in front of him. So Buddha asked him, "You can do anything?" "Yes." "Okay, chop this branch of the tree." So immediately one sword chopped off the branch. Then Lord Buddha asked this Angulimal, "Okay, now put that branch back there." "That I can't do." "That means you have only half power only. Only you can chop, but you can't join. Only you can kill. You can't make him alive again. So half power only you have, and you are boasting about that." So something happened to that Angulimal, and he threw the sword and fell at Lord Buddha's feet. And then took Diksha from him. And then he asked Lord Buddha, "Tell me what sadhana I should do." So Lord Buddha didn't give him long sadhana. He said that these 999 victims, whichever village they came from, for bhiksha you will go only to those villages. That is your sadhana. Do you think he will get bhiksha? Now he doesn't carry a sword. He is having a monk's robe. So now people will beat him up, throw stones at him, spit at him, because they know now he can't do anything. He is a monk now. That is your sadhana. And he also went on to become Buddha. He also realized the self. He also went on to become Buddha. So we have to see this potential in everyone. This is important. Once one person died, he went to heaven. And then he was surprised to see some people whom he thought that they must be rotting in hell. Oh, they were so vicious type and all that thing, they must be rotting in hell. But he was surprised to see them there. And then he asked Lord Jesus, "What is it all about?" And then he saw that those people who he thought that they should be in hell, they were looking at him and they were in silence. So he asked Lord Jesus, "Why are they in silence?" "No, actually they are in shock to see you here." Because we may know a person in the earlier life, but changes can come at any moment in any one person. And the latter life we have not known. See, this can happen. Many people change. What were they earlier and what have become now? Many people change. So latter life we have not known, and then therefore we get shockers like this, surprises. So everybody has got this potential. We have to accept that, however difficult it may be. Then this is also an important course for deconditioning the mind. Never ever have hatred for even a isolated moment, even in a dream, for towards anyone. Because the person whom we hate occupies a rent-free space in our mind. Raise the rent and kick them out. We tend to remember those people whom we hate more than those people whom we love. That fellow has caused me a lot of trouble and lot of problem. I want to take revenge and all that thing. We remember that person more. Why? Unnecessarily. Forget his karmas. He will suffer, or whatever happens, that will be decided. We don't have to bother about that. So it will go like that. So never have any hatred for anyone. And never allow anybody to pull us so low that we begin to hate that person. Never do that also. So if we have this hatred, that means we are still living in that situation. Once it so happened that a Jew who was in the concentration camp during the Second World War, and after the World War was over, they were released from that concentration camp. So he came to meet another Jew who was in the concentration camp. So he asked the other Jew, have you forgiven those people who kept us in that concentration camp? So the other fellow said, no, I cannot forgive them. So the visitor told him, that means you are still in that concentration camp. Never ever have hatred for anyone. If we cannot love, it doesn't matter. Be indifferent. Because hatred and attachment creates karma bandhana, karmic bondage. Being indifferent doesn't create any karmic bondage. So if we cannot love, it is very difficult to love people who have troubled us most. But we can be indifferent at least. But at least don't hate. Because this karmic bondage will continue. We want to take revenge, we will take revenge. And if that person also wants to take revenge and he doesn't get opportunity now, in the next life, he'll get an opportunity. Then he'll take revenge. Then we want to take revenge again. It will go on. Somewhere we have to bury the hatchet and close it down. Okay, we make our account book 0. We have nothing against each other. Finish. That's it. So, as much as possible, forgive and forget. And move on in life. Otherwise, we are stuck there only. So, that is also important. And then, don't run away from difficult situations. You see, everybody's life, good or bad, happens. Situations and challenges come in everybody's life. But we get only that much burden which we can bear. God will not give us too much which is impossible to bear. Whatever karmas we may have done, in the Sanchit karma, in the stock of, there are so many karmas we have done, good and bad, positive and negative. But all the negative karmas will not fructify in one life. Some negative karmas and some positive karmas, a mix of that. So then what happens is that we have some joys also, some sufferings also, some sorrow also. Everybody doesn't have everything. So there is some sadness mixed with gladness of life also. So like that it is. So this thing will happen, everything comes. So let it come, but we should not bother about it too much. So difficult situation comes, but we have to deal with that. Once we are not weak to fight it off. We should never consider ourselves weak to fight it off. We have got strength, and whatever sufferings come in our life, we are perfectly capable of handling that, facing it. And we should, oh, this has come and that is some minor thing and I can't manage this. All nonsense. God will not give us too much burden which we cannot bear. Everybody gets their own quota. That is how it should be. So, and everything is temporary. If good days are not there, bad days also will not be there. Everything keeps on changing. Everything keeps on changing. Once a saint visited the palace of a king and the king welcomed him and all that. So when the saint was leaving, at that time the saint gave him, the king, one ring. And he said that there is a message in that ring. Whenever you are in a very difficult situation, that time you can open and see the message. So the king was wearing the ring in his hand, in his finger. So one of the neighboring kings attacked this kingdom. And then unfortunately, he was defeated. He had to run away. He had to escape. The enemy soldiers were following him. He went into the forest and all that thing. And at some point in time, the enemy soldiers gave up following him. So he came out somewhere. So he was sitting there all depressed about what had happened. Then he remembered, he was playing with that ring. Oh, that Mataji said that there is some message in this. Let me check the message. So when he opened that, he saw the message was, this too shall pass. Just this short message was that, this too shall pass. With that, he got inspiration. He got courage. He again formed his own army, attacked that neighboring kingdom, took back his kingdom. And then after that, he put this posture everywhere. This too shall pass. So anything good happens, he is not overjoyed about it. This too will pass. Anything bad happens, this too will pass. So that should be the attitude. So we do not run away from the difficult situation. We have got courage to face it. So that is also an important factor that we need to know. Then we will not always get to do what we like. So we should start liking what we do. So that is also important. We always get in life, we don't get what we desire. We always get in life what we deserve. So serve and deserve. So when our desire matches with our prarabdha or destiny and his will, then it is fulfilled. When it doesn't match, it is not fulfilled. So this is an important aspect. And we have to see that whatever work we are doing, perfection comes when we enjoy doing that work. Then we don't look at the watch. So whatever comes, we have to do that job. Always will not get to do what we like to do. So therefore, whatever has come, enjoy doing it. There was an American tourist. Some tourist was passing by a village. So he wanted to know what the weather will be. So he found one shepherd who was looking after the flock of sheep. So he asked him, how is the weather here? How will the weather be, or how is the weather here? Well, the weather is what I like. So this tourist asked him, how do you know the weather will be what you like? No, many years ago I realized that I'll not get the weather I like, so I started liking the weather I get. So this is what the situation is. See, we have to keep our mind calm and peaceful and not get agitated. Oh, this is so hot, this is so cold, so it is raining so heavily. So we have to understand that. And another thing is that now a couple of codes are left to understand. Unhappiness is not knowing what we want. Unhappiness is not knowing what we want and dying, killing ourselves to get it. This is unhappiness. What is unhappiness? Unhappiness is not knowing what we want and killing ourselves to get it. See, happiness is a conscious choice, not an automatic response. We have to choose to be happy because nobody bothers if we are miserable. So we might as well be happy with the situation around us. But then people would rather be miserable than risk being happy. Funny is that some people want to be miserable to draw attention. Attention seeking syndrome they suffer from. Ass. Ass is attention seeking syndrome. They are real ass only. So they feel that if I sound miserable, then people will gather around me and console me and this and that. So they would rather be sure that they are miserable than risk being happy. And there is no reason for that. Once one monk was traveling by train, he was on the upper berth and one old lady was there on the lower berth. So monk was lying in his berth and then he heard the sound from below. That lady was saying, I am thirsty, I am thirsty, I am thirsty. So after some time the monk got up from the upper berth, brought a glass of water for her, gave her. She drank the water and he climbed on the upper berth and he was lying there. After some time he again heard the sound from below. I was thirsty, I was thirsty, I was thirsty. What can you do? If you have chosen to be miserable, who can help you? Nothing. This is what it is. So we have to choose to be happy. Nobody bothers if you are miserable. So happiness and unhappiness is the way in which we meet the things around us. Our attitude, our response to the situation and events. Everybody will respond to a particular situation. If it is there in 10 people's life, their different responses will be there according to their own mental makeup and attitude. Say for example, now one person is living in a hut in a slum and lot of leakage and all during monsoon time. One person living in a one-room house, another person living in a one-bedroom apartment. Now, the person who was living in the slum, he got a one-room house, solid. So he was very happy, extremely happy. Now I will be protected from the sun, from the heat, from the cold, from the rains, and there will be no leakage and all that. He is very happy. And the one who was living in one-bedroom apartment, for some reason, he had to leave that and come into the one-room one. and the one who was already living in one room house, he was continuing that. Now these three people are there. Their situation is the same. All three of them are living in a one room house. The fellow who came from the slum, he is very happy. The fellow who was already living there, he is neutral. And the fellow who came from one BHK to that one room, he is extremely miserable. Though all three of them, their situations are similar. So it is only how we compare the situation between one to the other. Somebody feels that if I get 3 meals a day, I am happy, I am content. And somebody says that no, that is not enough. I should have a roof over my head. I should get a place to sleep, protected from the rain and all that thing. So it is all different things. We have to protect our own mind. And the last but not the least, be 100% in the present moment. Life is lived 100% in the present moment, not in the past or the future. Whatever happened in the past is gone. We cannot change even a single moment of our past. Okay? And the future is all mired in uncertainties. Whatever we can live is only in the present moment. Past is gone, future is still come. The present moment is only available at our disposal. We should focus on this. Our connection with the past should be limited to the lessons we have learned from past events and experiences. But people what? They don't remember the lesson. They remember only events and experiences, and therefore they are condemned to repeat it in their lives again and again. Okay? We should remember the lessons and forget the events and experiences. We should not say, I am an MBA. MBA means, Mane badhu avde che. Gujarati ma bole. So, I know everything. No. We have to learn, keep learning from the past. That is important. So, we have to be 100% in the present moment. 100% in the present moment. When we don't learn, when we think ourselves to be super intelligent or very learned, then we will suffer in life. There was a priest, father of a church. So, once it was his birthday, so all the children were bringing birthday gift for him. And this father used to guess what gift the children have brought for him. So, Mary has brought a gift for me. Let me guess what it is. Now the father knew that Mary's father is having a bookshop. So it must be an interesting book. So Mary asked the father, how do you know? Father always knows. Then another student came. What have you brought for me? Let me guess. Now his father was having a woolen shop. So some very good woolen dress, sweater, a shawl or something. How did you know? Well, father always knows. And so on, one by one, everybody was giving the gift and he was guessing. And then John came up with his gift, a package. Now this father knew that John's father is having a liquor shop. So the father is saying, let me guess what John must have bought for me. Maybe a fine bottle of wine. So John said no. Then maybe different types of liquors, alcohol. He was taking one by one the name. And every time John was saying no, no, no. By the time the package started leaking, then it became a little wet. Then it came on his fingers. He smelled it, he couldn't recognize. Then he tasted it, yet he couldn't recognize. And then, okay, John, you tell me, it's a puppy. So, when you think yourself to be over smart, this is what happened. So, being in the present moment is conscious action, not mechanical movement. A couple of examples we'll take before we conclude. One person was walking on the road with both his ears burnt. So when somebody stopped him and said that, how did your ear get burnt? Well, somebody called and instead of picking up the phone, I picked up the iron box and put it on my ear. So it got burnt. But how about the other ear? That was a wrong number and he called again. not living in present moment. In Vienna, in medical college, the professor of surgery, he was telling the student to become a very efficient and successful surgeon. You need two qualities. One is you should have ability to tolerate smell, stinking smell. And second is you should have ability for keen observation. If you have these two abilities, you can be a very good surgeon, very efficient surgeon, and a successful surgeon. So now I'll put you to test. I said, okay. So on the table, he put a beaker with a stinking liquid. And the professor said that everybody has to dip a finger in that and lick it. So professor himself put the finger in that and licked. And one by one, all the students have to come and put the finger and lick. So one by one, they started coming. Somehow they stole themselves the finger. So after everybody did that, he said, congratulations. You have passed in one test. You can tolerate the stink. But all of you have failed in the keen observation test. Nobody saw that I didn't lick the finger I put in that beaker. I licked the other finger. All of you lick the same finger. 100% present moment you have to be. Not somewhere, mind is wandering somewhere. Now, one last example I will take and conclude this. One person had a special horse. If you mount the horse and tell the horse, thank the Lord, the horse will start running. And if you give the command, bless the Lord, it will stop. So one day, now this fellow fell in bad times, so he needed money. He brought the horse to sell in the market. So one wealthy person was passing by. He had heard about this horse. They said, I should buy it. He gave good amount and bought the horse. And immediately wanted to test. He mounted the horse and said, thank the Lord, and immediately the horse started running. So he was very happy. Now the town passed, the village passed, he entered the forest, and he forgot the formula to stop the horse. Forest also went away. Now he came on the cliff, rocky cliff. And then he had to stop the horse. Otherwise he'll die. Because in that ravine, in the valley, suddenly he remembered, oh, bless the Lord. And the horse stopped. He saw one more step. And the horse and himself would have gone there, instant moksha, instant liberation. And he was sweating profusely. He removed the kerchief from his pocket, wiped the face, thanked the Lord. Oh, some of them are awake and present moment. So, you have to be 100% present in the present moment. You are too blessed to be stressed. When the knowledge matures, the entire existence is nothing but an encyclopedia of jokes. Even if you want to be serious, you never be serious. Have you ever seen me serious? Because we are of the nature of infinite bliss. In anticipation of realizing that we can be at least happy, we can at least have a smile on the face. With this, I conclude this session. I invoke Param Pujya Gurudev's grace and blessings on all those who are present here today. May he guide us in our worldly life as well as on the spiritual path. May he grant us success, progress and success in our worldly life as well as on the spiritual path. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om.